Albertelli out of Woburn High School made the tackle. I think I may have called him Dan Albertelli earlier, Mike. Apologies to he and his family. Matt Albertelli.
Matt's made some real nice plays tonight. You know, both the coaching staffs, I'm not sure if you can see it on your screen at home, but Rocky Nelson does not really adhere to staying within the box. He's on the field and all over the place, and as you see, Tommy Souza, who's the liaison from the Merrimack Valley and also defensive coordinator up at Chelmsford, he'll also be on the floor, out on the court tonight.
Court,
I'm sorry.
Floor, court, grass. Wow,
I'm all over the place
your sports
tonight.
here, my friend. Here's the reverse. It's played very nicely by Matt Cohen, number 99 from Reading High School. Got good penetration, kept his leverage, forced it back inside, and then Dustin Taylor was there to clean it up.
Matt's had some pretty good coaching the past 4 years at Reading High, and he stayed home, waiting for the reverse, and I'm sure that's one of the things that Rocky's preached to everyone here. Is again, as I mentioned earlier in the All-Star game, trickery is pretty much the name of the game here.
Fourth, and we're going to call it 8 to go for a first down. I want to get back to what you said about coaching in just a moment. We'll let the fourth down play come and go first. So the Rockets with a couple of players on the field. Nicholas Cease is the right tackle, Cohen the right end. And no wonder why they're running right. That's the opposite side from where those two guys are living. Senek back under pressure with Cease chasing, and Nick's going to drag him down from behind. The Middlesex League will take over on downs.
Nicholas Cease, he's 6'1", 230, and he's got some pretty good giddy up there, Michael, to be able to chase down a quick quarterback like that.
Well, part of that is all motor.
Yeah, absolutely.
He's always on the go, played both sides for the Rockets, did a terrific job as a two-way lineman, and one of the leaders on that football team. He was coached by a guy named John Bowner, who we're going to miss next year.
Absolutely.
Congratulations goes out to John, who will take over the head coaching job of the Beverly Panthers.
Yep. He's certainly going to make a name for himself in the coaching ranks up in the Northeastern League.
Yep, Northeastern Conference, owned now by the Gloucester Fishermen, but he hopes to change that as Tim Reed comes in and hooks up with Kalyanides, and Dave gets popped by Ryan Carlson, number 33 from Tewksbury, and Cal slow to get up.
Carlson made a heck of a play because you could see what was developing was really a throwback where Kalyanides was going to pitch the ball to Iverson as he was running along the sidelines, and if Cal was able to make that pitch, not that he had any chance to, Iverson was gone, and hopefully just got the wind knocked out of him.
Training staff looking at Cal, and David sitting up now. Dwayne Sigsbury there to the left of your screen, name that we've known a little bit in Reading athletic lore.
Good to see David pop up. That's the one thing we don't want to see today is anyone getting hurt.
9.5 to play. First half, 3-0 the Middlesex League. They have the ball on their own 22. Second down and 6. Tim Reed is now the quarterback. Tim out of Burlington High School set a lot of records for Sean McGuire's team. Had a great game against Reading. I like the way this kid throws the football. Stands in the pocket very strong and has a good delivery.
Like probably one of the greatest passes I've seen on a high school quarterback was Tim threw it about a 35-yard corner pattern that I don't think Drew Bledsoe could have thrown it any better than that.
Here's Sullivan bouncing off tacklers. 27-yard line. Sullivan, not a big kid, 5'9", 165, but runs much bigger than that. Runs like a guy who weighs about 190.
Yeah, he's going to Bentley College next year, and I think Bentley, along with, I believe it was Irons, is also going to Bentley. They did pretty well at Wakefield High this year in recruiting.
Peter Yetton does a pretty good job of recruiting the local
does.
schools, and hey, there's a Reading guy there at Bentley College. Mike Boyd will be playing his senior season. Michael, terrific defensive back and quarterback for the Rockets a few years ago. 3rd and a yard. Sullivan in trouble. If he picked it up, he did it by himself. Got out close to the 30-yard line. It looks like they're going to give him the first down. He has the ability, Carl, to make that first tackle or miss, get him off balance, and then scoot by him.
He's got real quick feet and he's able to accelerate very quickly into the hole.
Middlesex picks up the first down just short of the 30 as Kalyanides is back in the ball game. Good to see. He's to the near side with Cardarelli and Berezovsky. And those are three names that any play-by-play guy doesn't really want to say. It's far too many syllables. And here is Berezovsky, spun down at the 42-yard line. Tackle made by Aaron Lachart, number 3, from Chuck Adamopoulos' Central Catholic Raiders.
Leo was able just to run.
You coward.
Just ran a direct go pattern, and he's matched up against the linebacker, and the linebacker's not going to be able to get out to the flats quick enough to be able to hit a streaking Leo, as I'll call him, the rest of the game.
LB, far side, the same 3. Iverson is the remaining setback. Reed back, quick pop to the far side, incomplete.
Real tough throwing that out across the field, and Merrimack Valley's really starting to press the corners a little bit. I think we may see a stop and go coming pretty soon, probably by the end of the half, because Sean does like to stretch out the defense, make him cover the whole field.
Xavier Garcia, number 88 from Stoneham, in the lineup. I tell you what, here's a guy that can go. But he was beaten in the 40-yard dash, an upset.
He was. It was amazing. Garcia was an all-state track 300-meter hurdler. I believe he's running 38 seconds flat. I mean, just mind-boggling how fast this guy is.
There's the up-and-out pattern. Good throw to Carole. What a beautiful pattern and a gorgeous throw. Carole knocked out of bounds by Lachart, but as we've talked about many times on coverage of high school football on RCTV, the big fellas up front doing a great job of protecting the passer.
Real nice job. And one of the linemen up front from Woburn actually lost his helmet. It was nice to see that his head was not in the helmet as it was 20 yards down the field. Did a real nice job staying with the block, because I think he would have been petrified to go after his helmet, not finish his block, and go oversee Coach Nelson.
That's Rich Teves, number 50. Mike Reska, 78. One of the Rockets in at the right tackle spot. Flag on the play. Looked like the MVC jumped offside. That'll move the ball up from the 32-yard line to the 27.
Mike, getting back to that previous play, Tim Reed's going to Northeastern actually in a couple months now. I mean, that was a beautiful, about a 35-yard pass right on the money. I hope his future is going to be playing at Northeastern, because I definitely think he'd be able to make an impact there at Northeastern, following up a former Reading guy, Jim Murphy, who had a cup of coffee with the New England Patriots.
Murph with a great, great college career.
Absolutely.
You look in the record books of the Huskies, and his name is smothered all over it. Of course, Dave Clemick won't be there for Reed to throw to, but he does have Adam Jenkins, the big tight end, on his way to Harvard, and cut down just short of Cambridge by the MVC secondary. Looked like number 22. Matt Zusamis was there.
Adam Jenkins, 6'4", 235, a tremendous basketball player, is going to Harvard. And, he is what this game's really all about. He's a student athlete, a tremendous young man, just someone that Harvard's going to be thrilled with.
Whistle on the play.
Nerf football from the stands got onto the field.
Good eyes by one of the officials. Of course, we would expect nothing less. Reed, Kalianides wide open. Give him 6. Put it up on the board. Touchdown, Middlesex.
Merrimack Valley, when you run 5 wide, it's very, very easy to miss someone. And Cal was just standing there, and no one was picking him up. And he just raised his hand and said, "Here I am."
Now, I know you could have scored that touchdown, but I think even the Snake, Jake McAleer, our camera guy tonight, I think the Snake could have scored that one, too.
Absolutely. Actually, Mike, those are difficult passes because there's no one there, and oh, my God, I do not want to drop this. But one of the things Dave can always say to his brother, because his brother certainly would have let him know, was, "Eric, this is actually a football. I know you don't get near it. All you do is push people all day, but I'm sure I'll hear it from Eric when I see him around town."
Now, rumor has it the big fella, Eric, may not be playing on the perimeter this year, but he may actually play center at 310 pounds. So he may get to touch the ball once in a while. Iverson out of the hold of Skeffington. It is no good. 6:55 to play in the second quarter. 9-0. The Middlesex League on top. 8-yard touchdown pass from Tim Reed to Dave Kalianides.
This is going to be a big drive here for the MVC because With about a little less than 7 minutes left, if the Middlesex League does get it with less than 2 minutes, I mean, Sean McGuire is in heaven spreading the field, and they very easily could score again. And down, 16 to 17 at halftime could be insurmountable with the way Rocky has his defense playing tonight.
Well, one thing about Tim Reed and Kirk Irons, they have some folks to throw the ball to. Cardarelli has done a good job of receiving the ball. We know Cal Unitas has some talent. Xavier Garcia, we haven't seen him get loose yet, but when he gets behind the secondary, very few people are going to catch him. Return men for the MVC, Wagstaff 7 near side, and Pelletier, number 1, to the far side. Craig Iverson puts it up on the tee, hash marks on the far side on an absolutely perfect night for football. You can do just about anything this evening, Carl.
It's amazing. It was funny. Rocky called me about 7 days ago when I believe one of the local TV stations does a 7-day forecast, and they thought maybe there may be some showers there. And each night he was calling me saying, we're looking good, we're looking good. And it's probably the best night we've ever had in 8 years.
Ball handled by one of the up men at about the 15-yard line. That's Senek, the quarterback. Taken down by Jonah Beckley, number 42 from Melrose, and a flag comes in from the far sideline. We may have a personal foul after the play.
Looked like there may be a late hit there, Mike, and it is the middle of summer, and sometimes tempers are getting a little fired up.
It was a block in the back, apparently, according to Scott Kroll, our white-capped official.
One of the things, Mike, we certainly want to let everyone know at home, everyone involved in this game is a volunteer. Anywhere from the people working the concession stands, selling the tickets, to the game officials. And for them, we're very thankful and grateful that they would actually take time out of their night, as you mentioned, it's a beautiful night, to come out here and help us out and make the game possible by volunteering their services. We greatly appreciate that.
Well, RCTV has jumped on the Carole Classic bandwagon as well. Not only are we here covering this game this evening, folks, but anyone who's interested in purchasing a copy of this evening's Carole Classic, you can do that through RCTV. Copies are $20 a piece. All of the proceeds will go directly to the Carole Fund. We'll give you the number in just a moment as the MVC tries to power its way over the right side. Darren Shaw swarmed under. Beckley there along with Santulo, number 8, Anthony Santulo from Burlington High School. Just to finish my thought, the phone number to call, 781-944-8888. Talk to Phil Rushworth or to Amy Bro. Let them know you're interested in purchasing a copy of this Carole Classic, and we'll get your money from you and send it right to Pat Egan, Rocky Nelson, and the folks at the Carole Fund.
And if you at home, if you want to mail a check in directly to the Carole Classic, and send it to the Carole Classic, 22 Houghton Street in Woburn, Mass. 01801.
Pass coming to the near side, caught by Kidd for the moment, but knocked down by Beckley and Morris. Chris Morris, number 1 from Woburn High School. Throw made by Josh Tusignan under duress.
That was, they very easily could have been 16-0 Middlesex League. Chris went for the hit, and the ball, he was able to knock the ball out, but that was a little bit of a duck there that could have easily been taken in for a touchdown. Real big play here, 3rd and 8.
5:54 to play in this first half, and if I'm Kenny Magley, if nothing else, I want to get a first down just to run some clock.
Absolutely.
As remember, folks, the Middlesex League will get the ball to start the second half. They have their choice. Obviously, they'll take the football, and it could be a 2-for-1 here if they're able to knock one in late in the half. Tusignant from the gun. Again under pressure to the far sideline. Oh, a great catch by Wagstaff, and he's going to go the whole route. And this game has turned around quite quickly. Jason Wagstaff fought off the defender, and he will go in from
that's about an
86-yard touchdown pass. Yes. The throw was on the money because the defender was right there. Devereaux there, but Wagstaff came away with it.
That was a perfect example of the offensive receiver is able to see the ball coming. Devereaux was putting his hand up, had lost sight of the ball, and I believe, Mike, it looked like he was actually trying to interfere with him, knowing that he'd rather give up 15 yards than an 86-yard touchdown pass, and I believe that could very well be a record, Mike, but we're going to have to check the record books.
I don't have mine with me.
Rocky will tell me. He remembers every touchdown he's ever given up. He was telling me about a 1974 Woburn Reading game yesterday.
Sean Landers on to attempt the PAT. It is, that's a live ball. I guess it's not a live ball.
No.
I thought it was blocked. Apparently it was not blocked.
He actually looked like he kicked the tee further than he did the ball. Something went flying out of there. I thought maybe it was his shoe at first, but it was the tee.
Sometimes, as we hack golfers know, you're better off playing the divot. 9-6 is your score with 5:42 to play. Carl and I already had the Middlesex League getting the ball deep in MVC territory. Well,
Yeah.
Tusignant and Wagstaff had a little to say about that.
I know. And that's really the best thing about this game is hopefully it will continue to be an up and down the field type of game. And we've got 5:42 left, 9-6 Middlesex League, and let's see what Sean and his staff has to counter this quick score by the Merrimack Valley.
We've had 3 close ones. We've had some not so close ones.
Nope.
Last year, the Middlesex League dominated the football game, and George LeBlanc had a huge day, former Melrose High Schooler.
Had a tremendous, and I believe the year before it was a 38-0 whitewashing of the Middlesex League by the Merrimack Valley.
That game was close until the anthem was over.
Yes.
Moundsey's kick will be handled by Joe Gordon, number 17, and they're going to give it off to Sullivan. He's got some room to the far sideline. Taken down to the 22-yard line. Big play made by Eric Nickerson, number 42. If he doesn't break it up, Sullivan's got some big yardage.
Nixon did a nice job, and one of the things you really can't practice in All-Star games are kickoffs and kickoff returns, and a lot of these young men out here really weren't on the kickoff teams in their high school because they're the star players there, and typically the coaches don't want to take a chance of getting their star players hurt, and they're doing a great job covering these kicks and the punts. Everything has been real clean today.
Reed's still in a quarterback for the Middlesex League. Whistle for a moment as the ball is being taken off the field. Each team provides their own ball to kick and throws. Ball from the MVC coming to the near sideline. Reed back. Reed in trouble. He has a man wide open but couldn't get it to him. Berezovsky open at the 40-yard line.
But just to follow up on one quick thing about the balls, all the footballs have been donated by Bat and Balls, who's been an official sponsor of the Carole Classic, I believe since the inception. Another sponsor is RTS Enterprises in Reading. Donnie Welford has donated all the plaques here tonight that have been given out, and we have some additional ones to be given out.
Kyle Miller from Andover planted Tim Reed with 5:23 to play. 2nd and 10 from the 22-yard line. Berezovsky to the near side. Garcia to the far side. Double tight end look, first time tonight. Reed on the option. Iverson turns a corner, but good pursuit by the red-clad MVC. Pelletier up from the secondary. Sorry, partner.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that. That was a real nice job. I believe it was Andy Euro. Apologize for any mispronunciation. Was that if Andy did not make the play, it looked like Iverson may have been able to get enough for the first down.
Second time out of the evening taken by the MVC. Just inside of 5 minutes to play. Once again, folks, please stay with us at halftime. We'll have the presentation of the Cliff Allen Memorial Award. Goes to one player from each side. The player that shows the same kind of dedication and commitment to the Carole Classic that Cliff showed.
And the 2 recipients tonight are really what we'll announce them obviously at halftime, but I've been able to see the 2 recipients of this year's award, and we can't be any more proud of the 2 people that we've been able to really be honored with this award. That Cliff meant so much to this game and really everything he did for high school sports.
When we get back to the action, it'll be a 3rd down and 10 for the Middlesex League. They'll send trips to the far side. Reed to throw, has good time to survey the field, goes down the middle. underthrown and incomplete. Ryan Carlson was there on the coverage, and so far, he's been, I think, the defensive MVP. He's made a couple of good plays. He had a good stick on Kalianides. We will give an offensive and defensive MVP from each side. So Carlson's at the head of the class right now.
He's certainly leading it, and he is, Mike, he's got to be, what, about 5'6", 5'7", and the boy has some jets. I mean, he can fly. He wasn't even covering the receiver at that time. He was covering someone else and ran across the field and was able to knock it down.
Wagstaff number 7, Senek number 10 back to receive the punt from Thibault. And they have the block on it. Evan Dunn just pounded the ball, and the flag comes in, and maybe Scott Carole said the ball was not deflected.
I think he actually, they're calling a personal foul, roughing the kicker, because he missed the ball, Mike, because when it ran out the side, he actually tackled the punter. I mean, it was almost impossible for him to miss the ball because he was there so fast.
Evan Dunn came up the middle virtually untouched.
And these are some of the things that happen in all-star games. They're not able to work on the kicking game very much due to the lack of time that they're given for this game, and these type of things happen.
A 15-yard penalty assessed against the MVC. It will be a first down for the Middlesex League at the 35-yard line. Boy, that's a big call in this football game. I'll make it the 37-yard line.
It's an interesting one there.
Iverson to the 41-yard line. I tell you, folks, we're a ways away, but we can hear the hits up here.
Yeah, they're really laying the smackdown on some of these kids. I mean, they are hitting hard, and Iverson is, he's going out the field a little gingerly. Hopefully he didn't, he believe as though he's okay. He was leaning his shoulder a little bit. I thought maybe he got hit hard. Tough runner, Craig Iverson is.
Certainly did get hit hard, no question about that. As Cal comes to the near side, Cardarelli and Garcia to the far side, and Kirk Irons back into the football game. He will burn a timeout. First timeout taken by the ML. 4:06 to play as the PA announcer tells us that RCTV is going to sell tapes of the Carole Classic. That's great to hear, and Phil Rushworth and Amy Bro down at the studio do a terrific job. Amy new on board with RCTV, just a few weeks into the position as a programming director. Things are set up for RCTV to cover high school football again. The Rockets defending their Middlesex League and Super Bowl championship. And good time to talk a little bit, Carl, about the new playoff format. Each of the conferences in, let's say, Division II, where the Rockets will play, will have a league representative go to the playoffs. One plays 2, 3 plays 4, 1 plays 4, 2 plays 3. The winners are no longer Super Bowl champions. They play an additional round. Great in theory, but the problem, I think, is you play Thanksgiving Day, then you play the following Tuesday or Wednesday, depending on weather. The winners of those games play on Saturday. 3 games in 10 days, I just don't like it.
No, Mike, it's really, I understand the theory about what they're trying to do, and, one of the negative things is that I was talking with Rocky earlier, and Saturday before Thanksgiving, the Merrimack Valley's actually having 2 of their opponents playing a doubleheader against some Catholic schools. So you got 4 games played in really a 2-week time frame. As you can see by the hitting tonight, it's going to take a beating on these kids, and hopefully no one will get hurt by this new format. But hopefully it's just a quick trial, and people understand that maybe kids shouldn't be playing these many games in such a short time frame.
Irons taken down on the play by McDonald, number 43. Just one last point on that, Carl. Now, when you look at the teams like the Peabodys and the Everetts and Reading and Brockton, that's all well and good. They got 60, 70 kids on the roster. Let's take a look at a school close to home, Austin Prep, that has 35, 30 kids.
Absolutely.
They are going to have a hard time playing 3 games in 10 days.
And in those, the Division 5 and 6 schools, I mean, you really only have 11 kids playing both sides. They're not really able to rotate their children.
Irons just airs it out for Berezovsky. Good coverage on the play by Jared Pelletier. Irons showed a very strong arm, not only there, but also in the pregame competition. Threw on about 63 yards.
Kirk Irons, he's going to Bentley. He's got a tremendous arm. Both you and I were able to see that arm for the past couple of years against Reading, and